Data protection and privacy teams are under more pressure than ever with new laws, AI oversight, data breaches, and the constant expectation to do more with fewer resources.
That's why TrustArc built a modern privacy and data protection management platform powered by Arc Intelligence. It unifies your tools, automates the work that slows you down, and surfaces what matters most right when you need it.
From guided quick actions to our intelligent assistant, Ask Arc, you get credible, contextual answers backed by expert research, not generic AI guesses.
Finally, privacy that works the way privacy pros work.
Learn how TrustArc helps teams move faster with confidence at trustarc.com/serious-privacy. That's trustarc.com/serious-privacy.
This is Serious Privacy. Here are your hosts, Paul Breitbart and Kay Royal.
This is the morning after the night before, the day following US President Biden's State of the Union address, where he called for bipartisan legislation to protect everyone's personal data, but children's data in particular. And this is what he said.
Time to pass bipartisan legislation to stop big tech from collecting personal data on our kids and teenagers online. Ban targeted advertising to children and impose stricter limits on the personal data that companies collect on all of us.
And yes, you heard it right. Not PII, not personal information, but personal data. Maybe we'll talk a bit about this in today's episode, but our main topic for today is apprenticeships. You may recall the episode we did in August with Barry Mould, when Kay and Ralph O'Brien spoke with him about the Data Protection and Information Governance Apprenticeship Program. Today, we will hear from the other side. Emma Godfrey is part of the program and has been working as a data protection consultant for 2.5 years and is currently with iStorm. She also makes the amazing Lego clips explaining data protection basics and some other clips that I've seen and that you may also have seen on LinkedIn. So let's talk about what she has learned, what experiences she can share in today's episode. My name is Paul Breitbart.
And I'm Kay Royal, and welcome to Serious Privacy. I'm so excited to have you on, Emma. So very excited. This is going to be fun. No matter what kind of heck I give Paul about it. So, all right. Unexpected question of the day. And I debated whether or not when I saw this one, I actually debated, but I figure Paul's got a good answer. What are your favorite shoes?
I mean, do I get a go at this? Because this is going to take a while.
Oh, yeah. You're first. You're first.
I'm first. My favourite shoes are my slippers, if I'm honest. I've got very furry slippers because I get really cold feet. So I've got like Ugg boot type slippers, which means I can go outside as well in them. So I don't have to worry about putting shoes on. So I can take my bins out and, wander around this. And if I forget to take them off, I can drive in them too. I don't do that, clearly.
I love that. I love it. Paul?
Well, for this weekend, my favorite shoes will be my skiing shoes because I'm going skiing. So that, I can't do that without those skiing shoes, obviously. Generally speaking, probably more dress shoes.
Okay. Skiing?
Yeah, skiing, in the
the
big,
devil's
big,
spittle,
big,
white
big,
stuff?
Big mountains with the white stuff. And
devil's spittle.
I'm sure if we got you a big enough pair of shoes, though, Paul, you could probably go skiing in just any pair of shoes.
Yeah, no, it's stability issues. I've got very weak ankles.
Okay.
So, okay, how about you?
This is where I'm now holding up a gorgeous pair of sparkly boots.
I see something gold with a very high heel and lots of Swarovski diamond.
So I love shoes. I love shoes across the board. I love shoes. I probably have 200 pairs of shoes, not counting boots and flip-flops. And I have at least 8 pairs of cowboy boots. Yes. But
Royal.
Right. These at least I don't have to buy the 3,000 pair of shoes. I don't care about that. But these I saw over COVID. I got them. I haven't worn them yet. Oh my God. I love them. I love them. I love them. But I'll say that I don't really like wearing shoes anymore. I put these on to wear them to something. I was like, nah, I'm just going to put on my tennies.
If you want to see Kay in these golden sparkly shoes, then make sure she gets a ticket for IPP Washington, and she'll wear them on the floor for you.
Oh God! Now he's volunteering. Nobody give me a ticket. I'm not going to wear those shoes on the floor. But I will have to do it. I love my shoes. I don't hide that. But I guess it's a sign of getting older that I don't like my 4-inch stilettos. But I will say I bought a pair of 6-inch platform boots in order to cosplay She-Hulk. And I told my husband I needed to put these on and practice wearing them to make sure I could. And believe it or not, I could just walk in them like regular shoes because the platform was under the toe as well. So your foot was actually at the same angle you would be in regular heels.
You've only got like 2-inch heel rather than
exactly. Yeah. So, and I tend to wear heels more than I do flats because I don't pick up my toes well. And so I'll literally, stumble over nothing. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
My other pair of shoes, which are my absolute favorite, I have a pair of red glitter Wizard of Oz shoes from Paris, which my mother bought me a long time ago.
Wear them to IAPP?
I won't be at IAPP, I'm afraid. So no. But when I first wore them, the glitter was coming off because it just had so much glitter on. So I left a trail of red glitter wherever I went. So people knew where I'd gone during the day as to this trail of red glitter.
It's a bit like the trail of the Wicked West, the Wicked
Pretty
Witch.
much. Pretty much.
That is awesome. Okay, we got to be at the same event because I'll find a pair of red glitter shoes. I'm sure somewhere, somehow I'll find a pair.
Somewhere in your cupboard, probably.
There probably is, if they're not melted already. But okay, let's talk about something substantive.
I wanted to say welcome to the Serious Shoe podcast, but... Oh well, our listeners are used to it.
There's no such thing as shoe privacy. No.
Our listeners are used to us going off topic, I guess. So back on topic. Emma, talk to us about the apprenticeship program. How did you get in? What did you have to do? How many hoops did you have to jump through?
Yeah.
How did it work?
So I'm very lucky in the fact that I work for one of the companies who helped get the apprenticeship up and running. So I think, to be honest, my boss was pretty adamant that I was going to be on this apprenticeship regardless. Which I was, I'm not going to argue with that. It's an opportunity to learn and grow, and I'm very new out of the box. I'm what they classify as unjaded.
Oh wow, you can't be unjaded in privacy. Now give a shout out to who you work for and your boss.
So the company I work for is a company called iStorm, and one of the managing directors, who is my boss, is Richard Marigold.
Awesome.
Yes, he is. And he very, very clearly wanted me to go on the apprenticeship. And it was the perfect opportunity for me because I am self-taught. So before I came to iStorm, I worked for a real estate agent. There we go. Mind blank. Real estate agent. And that was my very first privacy job. But before then, I taught myself data protection.
Wow.
Because I was made redundant and I wanted a change of career. So I taught myself.
So why did you pick data protection?
I love it.
Or did it pick you?
It picked me. It pretty much just picked me out of a crowd and went, "You'll do. we'll have a go at you. Let's see if you get any better off." Yeah, so it very much picked me. It's in my soul and my bones. So whenever I do anything with it, I light up and my world gets a little bit brighter. So when it came time to do the apprenticeship, I was ready, absolutely ready. So I only had to have a certain number. I think it was maybe a year or two's experience of some data protection, just because you need to at least know the basics before you get into it, because it is pretty much straight away you're off and running. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much, but the funding needed to be sort of approved and things like that, and all the other things that I don't really know much about because I don't get involved. I just sort of stood there and went, I'll have a go. And someone went, okay, why not?
So what does it entail? How long is this program? What do you need to do to be part of it?
So it's 18 months. For the first couple of months, you're just sort of getting into it. You're looking at what is required of you for the next sort of 18 months. And they do tell you a bit about the end assessments and the gateways and things like that. But to be honest, in the first couple of months, you're not really, all you really want to do is try and find out what you're supposed to be learning, make sure you've got all the things that you need to have in place. Towards the middle section, which is, I guess, where I am. I think I'm almost halfway through it now. It gets a bit more, it's got a lot more serious for me since January, because every endpoint assessment getting to a point where, you know, you have your portfolio in place, so you have a portfolio of evidence to show that you can do the things that you're supposed to be able to do at the end of the apprenticeship, things around data protection that you're supposed to be able to. And it sort of gets a bit more serious kind of halfway through, and they start delving into things a lot more in that process.
So what kind of things are we talking about? Dealing with DSARs, conducting DPIAs, filing a data breach report, those kind of things?
Yeah, we go into the laws and regulations, so we go into the history right the way back to, you know, World War II and beyond, because it goes beyond then into, you know, Tudor times. You know, we go into things like individual rights, but we also go into things around dealing with stakeholders and how to help stakeholders understand why it's important to them, not just
is there a magical formula to how to get stakeholders to understand why it's important to them?
We haven't found
if so,
one
Kay
yet,
wants
but
to know.
Right? Yeah, please share. We'll sell that puppy. We'll make this one a gated podcast if there's a miracle answer there, because I don't think any of us is man. I mean, seriously, the phrase treat their data as if they would treat their own. And I hate it, because I even see that in contract, that the vendor will treat their data as if it was with no less protection than they would treat their own data. And I'm sitting here going, you're talking to Americans. We don't protect our own data, clearly. But yeah, I always think that's funny. But anyway, go ahead. But
no, there isn't. We haven't found one yet. I mean, if you do find one, it'll be a race to see which one of us can monetize it first.
Right. It's unbelievable. It really is how, and I think, Paul, we've talked about this before when we were first interviewing companies to do their data inventory when GDPR was passed, and we would talk to people like salespeople or marketing people, and they'd be like, we don't handle personal information. And I'm like, really? Yeah. Who do you call? Who signs the contract?
Ghostbusters. Oh,
yeah. Okay. That was perfect, Paul. There's a reason I like you. But yeah, that's one of the many. But
you don't call, you don't email, you don't have employees, apparently.
You don't sell to anyone. I mean, it's like, really? And now that California no longer has the exemption for B2B data and HR related data, people are trying to figure out, well, what exactly does this mean? You mean that the person who's the CEO of a customer that I'm calling, I have to protect that name and email? And yes, you do. You might not have to put the same amount of protection over it that you would over an 11-year-old child's, but you do have to protect it. You have to keep it private. You have to keep it secure. So, yeah, it's really interesting trying to get people to understand why it's important to them. But I digress.
That, I must be honest, that particular module for me was quite interesting, because it's from where I sit, a lot of the people I deal with, they already know that their data is precious, and they already know that the data is precious that they're dealing with, because some of them deal with very sensitive information.
Right.
For them, it's more about they want to do it. And the reason they want to do it is the right reason, but they want to do it in the right way. So actually, it's more about trying to help them understand why they're doing it in this particular way, because actually they think that there may be an easier way to do it when the way that they need to do it is a particular way. So it's actually trying to come at it from a different angle, but actually dealing with corporate stakeholders, it is very difficult to get them to understand why it's important, not only for their organization, but for them as individuals as well. So that was a really interesting module in sort of how to communicate, not to bring emotion into it, to be very calm, to be precise, factual. It all goes some way.
Calm, precise, factual. Yeah. I'm not sure I understand what these words mean.
You sort of get into the meeting when they're sat there on their mobile phone talking to somebody else, and all you want to do is throw something at them. It's not the way to do it. So I've been told anyway.
So you've been told. I like that. I've been told it's not the way to do it.
So what's the division of time between you learning things and applying them as part of your day-to-day work?
So you are supposed to do, it used to be 20%. So you have to do off the job hours. So off the job hours are any hours that you do within work hours, but then are not work related. So you sort of have to go away and do things like webinars, mentoring sessions, shadowing sessions, any write-ups you have to do of any assignments. My little extra pieces that you see on LinkedIn are all sort of my off the job hours, trying to help raise awareness for accessibility and things like that, are all to do with my off the job hours and go towards that.
I love what you post on LinkedIn.
Thank you very much. I enjoy them. They make me laugh. So
they make a lot of people really happy.
Yeah.
They do.
Very, very, very clear and to the point. So
it's all I care about. As long as somebody finds them funny, that's all I care about.
Yeah,
thanks very much. But it's I have 1 or 2 days assigned to me each week to be able to catch up on the work that I need to do for that. And the rest of the time, whatever you're learning, you're applying to your job role. But you're also, in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, what this can also be applied to the apprenticeship, so I need to make sure that I write this. And what you basically do is you, over the course of, I think it's around 14 months, you develop evidence to show that you are competent in, I think there are 12 duties, which are things like retention periods and schedules. One of them is, I think, I should know these. I do know these. You've got information rights, so individual rights. You've got ones that are in procedures, providing training. So things that you will need to be able to do as essentially a DPO or an information privacy manager or something along those lines.
So it's the privacy 12-step program.
Essentially. Essentially, yes. It's just not voluntary, I don't think. If you're going to go for it, you kind of need to you just need to just go for it and try and do it as best you can.
I do feel like maybe our first step really is to apologize to people that we are privacy maniacs, and we're going to force the next 11 steps on you.
I mean, I quite enjoy the duties, and you also have knowledge and skills and behaviors that you need to prove that you can do as well.
Right.
And I enjoy that because it's structure. And I'm the sort of person that I thrive on structure. If you give me something and I have to do it, I will do it regardless of what happens. You're going to have to chuck me off some form of high building for me not to be able to do it, that kind of thing. I will pretty much make a beeline for the end.
Did you go through tabletop exercises like on the incident response? Like they would give you a scenario and you had to figure out what to do next, and then afterwards come back and do a debrief and all that?
So we have done a few workshops.
Okay.
Done workshops for things like DPIAs, reporting, analysing information to be able to report it back to stakeholders to try and get your point across in the right way and as clearly as possible. And those are really good because they're very in-depth and they are based around, real life problems and examples that we can take away and potentially put towards what we're doing with our businesses.
I have a burning question, but I think the answer is going to be no. And I think it's going to be no for two reasons. The second reason I'm not really sure I could verbalize well. But the first thing, your apprenticeship is focused in a particular area. I mean, we had Barry on the phone before, we understand, but I wonder when people in the UK or the EU do privacy training, do they include US privacy? Because you're not going to get away from privacy training in the US unless it's focused on HIPAA or FERPA or GLBA. If it's focused on an area, maybe. But in almost all training here, we include the EU and other key global laws if they apply to the audience we're talking to. But you couldn't get away from a privacy training without including the EU. And I just wonder if privacy training over there includes the US.
The two I've done, so the apprenticeship, and I have done the IAPPE as well, the CIPPE, as well. I specifically did the Europe version of that. The only time it is mentioned is international transfers.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine for the E it would be, and I know your apprenticeship is focused, but broader than that, anyone listening, let me know, because that's curious to me, because we actually do have privacy laws here in the US. And funny enough, some of them are stronger than the GDPR and a little bit more prescriptive.
Impossible. Humbug.
Shh, humbug. Okay, go ahead, Emma.
No, I mean, you are right, I think. I think there is much more focus in the US on what EU legislation entails, although I've heard people teaching GDPR, where I thought this has
He just did air quotes.
Wow.
GDPR.
Wow.
They call
This
it
has
GDPR.
nothing to do with GDPR, what you are talking about right now.
Do I need to leave, Paul, so you guys can have this out? Because I'm quite prepared to do that, to be fair.
It would be nice, actually, to have an independent referee here. But it's true that from the European perspective, the US privacy laws are often ignored.
Yeah.
I know I bring them up in my courses in Maastricht briefly, also as part of the exam of some of the examples. Actually, and now I'm going to shamelessly plug a new program because you give me the opportunity for it. This spring at Maastricht University, we're starting a new certification course, which is the ECPC G for Global, which will include also courses on the US, on Canada, on Korea, on Japan, on India. In future, if the UK decides to foolishly deviate from the GDPR, it might include the UK as well. So there will be specific weeks dedicated to those other countries in order to also give a baseline understanding of what data protection law would be in those countries, taught by people who have actual experience of what it is on the ground.
You should have your favorite U.S. privacy attorney, drop into those meetings and give some. But I will say, this is the reason I've got this handbook, and I'm almost done with it, and I'm going to self-publish it on Amazon. I'll let y'all know. But it is specifically directed towards companies that comply with the GDPR. I don't want to say EU or UK companies, but companies that comply with the GDPR. And then they're asked to certify or to do something for U.S. law. Like my company is COPPA. So I will contact these companies and say, are you COPPA compliant? Their answer is, we comply with the GDPR and it's stronger than any other law. And I'm like, I need specific things for COPPA that GDPR doesn't require. I'm going to need you to actually answer and tell me if these things are in place. Same thing for GLBA, same thing for HIPAA. FERPA really has no teeth, different things like that. So I do find it interesting that companies that comply with GDPR may actually have no clue of other significant privacy laws that they might need to comply with.
Most companies, including European ones that say they comply with GDPR, also have none of the evidence to show for GDPR compliance.
I don't
so this
think
is a
that's
ubiquitous
just
problem.
US. Yeah, I don't think that's just kind of US. I don't think that's just US. I think that's just, even companies that we know, are big companies and they've probably got everything in place. We do still sit there and go, okay, there's bound to be at least something that we haven't thought of, but
of course,
trying to, going through it all takes time. So you sort of have to just take your time and hope that you find it before something goes wrong, I think, a lot of the time.
So we need more Emmas.
I think so. I think we need more Emmas in the world.
I'm blind in one eye. Let's throw that out there. I'm not great at spotting things, to be honest. Let's just throw that into the ether and go, well.
No, but without kidding, I think an apprenticeship program like the one that you are doing in the UK that's being rolled out more broadly is absolutely amazing. And what I hear from you, it gives you a lot of very relevant experience in combination of training and consultancy at the same time. I guess your peers are not all also consultants. Some will have an in-house role, ?
Yes, they do. So we've had a lot of people come and sort of teach us specific areas who, are very knowledgeable about what they do, and they do work in-house. And a lot of our cohort, so the group of us who are actually doing the apprenticeship for the first time, we are, I think, split down the middle between people who work in-house and people who are consultants. So,
nice.
For a lot of us, we do get that variety of different sort of challenges and different advantages of those two sort of areas. And it's quite nice because whatever we're doing as consultants, we may have an industry that we're working with that is currently going through that particular challenge.
Yeah.
And somebody may be working in-house in that particular industry who is currently also going through that challenge. And you can exchange ideas. All of our classes are open to ideas, comments, anything, any questions that you may have. So it's a really lovely place to try and, bat ideas around and try and help each other out, as well as going through this I can only really speak for me, but it's a very steep learning curve.
Right.
I haven't done anything like this since I was at university and my third year of university. So we're talking, the end game, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's always a huge benefit to have a cohort. It's a huge benefit to be in any type of program where there are diverse people there to give perspectives and opinions. But when it's a cohort, it makes it even better because you're growing and you're learning together, and you have that opportunity to test someone's unique experiences or opinions over time in different types of scenarios, which really increases. It doesn't increase the steepness of your learning curve, but it does increase the breadth over which you have to climb it in.
Things become a lot more rounded.
Yeah.
And a lot broader and a lot wider in scope when you have, a varied cohort of people who are working in lots of different areas and who are working either as consultants or in-house, because actually the challenges that you face are very different on a daily basis. So being able to have that exchange of ideas in, even though it's virtual, being able to have that there and then and actually, exchange experiences that you've had in the past, it's invaluable, especially for someone like myself. And I literally have only been doing it for 2.5 years. So I am brand new out of the box. So for me, having people I can go to and ask a question there and then, and potentially go away with something that I can put into action even the same day, is wonderful. We are very lucky in the apprenticeship program.
Mm-hmm.
Very lucky.
Are there things that you would change about the program, or where you say this is an element that I think is missing from it?
I wouldn't necessarily. There is one particular element which at the moment I'm finding quite challenging. I don't want to speak for anybody else on the cohort, but I know I'm finding it quite challenging. We have an endpoint assessment, which is called a work-based project. Now, this has to be started and completed between September and December, which is the last couple of months of the apprenticeship itself. Now, I don't have a problem with that. Obviously, it's part of the program. It's wonderful, great. But they're sort of asking for a consultant like myself. Our clients want things done now, now. And if they're not done now, they should have been done yesterday. And if they weren't done yesterday, why were they not done yesterday? And why are they not done now? So it's very difficult to plan for September, because actually all of the things you're doing will be done within the next couple of weeks, if not before.
You don't have a project that you have the liberty to put off until September, and then
And whilst we do have some wonderful clients who have actually said that they are willing to go through some projects with me to potentially start in September to allow me to do that, I know that there will be some people who do not have that luxury. And actually, when I first realized the parameters of this particular side of the apprenticeship, I did start to panic a little bit, because I didn't know what I was going to do that work-based project on. And I know it's September, and it's obviously a very long way away, and there'll be thousands of people screaming at me right now going, you don't have to worry, you don't have to panic.
We'll have work, we promise. Something will pop up.
September is only a couple of weeks away.
Come and see me and let's see how this goes. It is worrying, because you don't have that. You don't have that luxury. And I know that some people in-house are starting to think about what they can do with their organizations, because they have the liberty of being able to say, in September, we're going to start this. It is going to be in September and not before, because we have other things to do. My clients won't allow me to do that. So for me personally, that part of the endpoint assessment worried me slightly, not because of the work itself, but because of the time frame that they set for that particular project.
And a work that you might have to do come September might not give you 4 months to do it in, and
it may not cover as much as I would like it to cover, or it may not be a particularly good project to do for it. But actually, at that time, it may be the only project I can do. So it's sort of it's kind of those kind of thoughts that go round in your head. And yes, it's only February, and I get it for those people screaming at the PC right now, but it is something they're asking us to consider at the moment, and it is something
to
that
plan.
has to obviously...
When do we have the luxury of planning? Plan ahead.
So,
God
so
help
it's
us.
it's the only thing I would say has caused myself a few moments of I don't know how this is going to go, but it's the time frame, not the actual piece of work.
Yeah.
Because
I
I
like
know
all
that
of
we
her
can all do it.
disclaimers. Please
Yeah,
make
yeah,
sure you
yeah.
catch all
Yeah, this
the
is a lawyer in the
disclaimers.
making. This is a lawyer in the making.
I just because it literally is
Yeah.
that only, and I
Yeah.
pinned it down one day and I went, actually the one thing that's worrying me is the September to December, because I'm not allowed to complete it in any other time. It has to be in those months.
Yeah.
So it's the absolute yes, you have to do it in these 3-4 months. You can't do it any other time.
Well, you said
Okay.
something. You said something that hit me when you said you've only been doing this 2.5 years. Paul, do you realize the other day I was saying something about these new privacy people that came on with GDPR, and then I realized they've got 5 years of experience, if not 7 years of experience preparing for it. And I'm like, I guess they're not the new privacy people.
No, we are already
Not the
a
newbies
generation
anymore.
advanced, indeed.
Right. It's been that
Which is
long.
only
It's-
great. I mean, I'm happy to see our community grow and to have more people join us and learning, and everybody learns with new things on the horizon. I mean,
Yeah.
just look back at indeed last night's State of the Union announcing federal data protection law as a bipartisan project that should be taken up this year. I think
Should.
that's a major breakthrough in the US. Everybody thought also with the whole range of draft state legislation that we've seen. I think we're at 17 or 18 draft laws right now, that the federal legislation didn't stand a chance this year. And with such a vocal call out, not just for EdTech, not just for children's data, but for omnibus legislation,
Yeah.
we are bound to see at least some progress.
And hopefully that means that, Vice President Kamala Harris is actually having some influence. I know people fuss at me for my very blatant hero worship here. Get over it. Okay. I worship privacy. We now have a privacy person as Vice President of the United States, although we haven't seen a heck of a lot of privacy movement yet. But I guess, whatever. Had to have some time to get in there, but whatever.
This is a big step forward, and that will see another new generation of people joining the data protection community. And that only makes it more exciting.
Not going away anytime soon.
Absolutely not. So, Emma, what's next after the apprenticeship?
Yeah.
I know that it's September to December timeframe is far away and yet around the corner.
Wow.
What are your plans?
Hold on before you answer that.
Okay.
The other week, did I not hear you say something about being nervous about speaking to a lot of people?
Yes, you did.
And?
yeah, you did.
Yeah, tell us about that and then tell us what's next.
Okay, so I am very lucky in the fact that I have a lot of connections on LinkedIn who are willing to sit and listen to me warble on for hours about random. This wonderful lady, Whitaker, in the last Channel Islands Data Forum, happened to call out one of my Lego videos on LinkedIn while she was hosting a panel.
And we love us some Tash. We're just going to keep saying that. We love us some Tash.
And the organizer of the event contacted me and asked me if I wanted to speak, and I was like, well, it will be my first time, so yeah, why not? I'll travel over to Guernsey on a flight with nobody, and to an island where I don't know anyone, and to an event where I've never met anyone before, and I'll speak for the first time in my life in public.
And
who wouldn't want to do it? It was amazing. It couldn't have gone any better. It really couldn't. I spoke about how we can try and make data protection more accessible to the people who cannot communicate or find it difficult to communicate as you and I would.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes people who are neurodiverse and who are, people like who are deaf, who are blind, who do not, do not have the capability. And actually, the way I saw it is if I left there and one person left with an idea they didn't have when they came in, perfect. My job was done at that point. I classified that as a success. What I didn't realize is that a man who I'd seen ask some pretty challenging questions in all of the other speaking slots, at the end of my slot, he did just say to me that I had sort of changed his mind about a few things, and actually he was going to go back to his organization and suggest a few things, and that's all he really wanted to say. And I think I was if I could have died happy then, I probably would have done. Because that's all anybody who speaks wants.
Right.
They just want that person who came in and go and in training and things like that. You just want the person who sits there with their arms crossed and grumpy and thinking that you're just going to waste their time.
And that person was President Biden, but
but you want them to go away in a different manner with a different mindset, and I think I managed that, and that's
nice. Well done.
I don't think I stopped smiling for about 3 days.
But what is next?
I have no idea. I love what I do. I don't think that's going to change regardless of where I am, who I work for. I love who I work for. The team I work for are just astonishing people and just amazing individuals with knowledge, coming out of their ears. But for me, it's more about what I do, not where I am or who I'm doing it for. So,
spoken like a true privacy professional.
Yeah, I honestly, I couldn't ask for a better career, and I couldn't ask for a better industry to work in. So I'm happy. I'm happy.
Amen to that.
Yes.
And on that note, we'll end another episode of Serious Privacy. Thank you very much, Emma, for joining us today. To all our listeners, if you like these episodes, like and review us in your favorite podcast app or on the favorite podcast platform. Join the conversation on LinkedIn. Just look for Serious Privacy. Follow us still on Twitter at Podcast Privacy. K is Heart of Privacy, and I am Girl Paul B under the same name on Mastodon. Until next week, goodbye.
Bye, y'all.
That was Serious Privacy.
If you're a data protection or privacy professional, you already know the pressure. Non-stop regulatory change, AI oversight, internal demands, and the expectation to somehow stay ahead of it all. And the old patchwork of tools just isn't cutting it anymore.
No. That's why TrustArc created a modern privacy management platform powered by Arc Intelligence. The TrustArc platform brings your workflows, evidence, research, tasks, and applications all together in one unified and intelligent workspace so you don't waste time digging, clicking, or context switching.
With Ask Arc, your privacy assistant, you can ask plain language questions about laws, jurisdictions, or even your own program data and get credible, cited answers based on NIMBY research and more than 1,000 global laws. It's explainable, transparent, and purpose-built for data protection and privacy.
So if you need to add a vendor, create a cookie banner, or start an assessment, quick actions take formally complex tasks, turn them into bite-sized guided workflows to save you time.
It's a platform that thinks like you, works like you, and helps you move faster with confidence, whether you're a seasoned DPO or you're just getting started.
See how modern privacy gets done. Explore Arc at trustarc.com/serious-privacy. That's trustarc.com/serious-privacy.